Alright, so this is a question that I get a lot from people who just recently started their locks, because if you've just started your locks and now you're realizing you need to wash them, it can be like anxiety inducing, because you're thinking, is this gonna mess up my locks? Is this gonna make them unravel? Are they gonna like tangle up into one big clump? So many things can go through your head when you're thinking about washing your new locks. So I wanted to take some time to really go in depth on this topic, just to like ease some of your anxieties. Just so you know, my locks are semi-freeform, which means to me, I started them off with a sponge, and once I started them, I didn't do anything else with them. I didn't retwist, I didn't separate any locks, nothing like that. I just started them and then I let them be. So as I'm talking about my process for washing, back when I had like new locks, this is the result. So keep this in mind. This is how my hair turned out after I washed my hair consistently the way that I'm about to explain to you. My first thought when it was time for me to wash my locks for the first time was, I don't want my locks to unravel, so I need to like secure them onto my head in like the same spot. What I did was I took a pair of pantyhose, like actual pantyhose, like women's pantyhose from my mom, and I just put it over my head so that each individual lock would stay in place. And I realized very quickly that that was very unnecessary. I didn't care if they combined. Actually, I encouraged them to combine because they're freeform, and like that's just the look I was going for. Because I started off with a sponge, each lock already kind of had its individual structure, and it wasn't like free loose hair strands. And also what helped for me was the fact that my hair is 4C, so just the act of washing my hair and wetting it and letting the curls like tangle up, that helped my hair lock up. So because I wasn't worried about combining, my only worry was my hair strands separating and not like staying together. But that wasn't an issue, because if you think about it, when your hair gets wet or when you wash your hair, what do you have to do after you get out the shower? You have to detangle. So when your hair is wet, the strands of your hair are able to tangle up and pretty much just lock up. So I realized very quickly that washing my hair was my friend, and it would help my hair actually lock up. But when I got out the shower from washing my hair, sometimes I did notice like the size of my hair were, because I had a taper, the size of my hair, those locks were very, very short compared to the top of my hair. So sometimes I would notice that like the sides, like the side locks would be like loose compared to the locks on the top of my head, which was fine with me, because even though they were like loose and I could kind of like see through them, they were still intact, and they definitely didn't unravel, and they definitely didn't like separate from the lock. So don't worry about that if you're worried about that. As long as your hair is like coily, like a coily type of curly, don't worry about your hair just like coming apart. It's not gonna happen. But I can say that if you have looser curls, then like it may be an issue for you. So I do recommend using a stocking cap if you have looser curls. The only thing that I really noticed was a lot of my locks combined, and over time more and more would combine, and I would notice it when I got out the shower, like, you know, like a few little strands would be combined from each lock. But my locks definitely have combined over time, and that's been cool with me because I have freeform locks. Like that's kind of, you know, what my hair is supposed to do. That's what my hair does, and I have no complaints. But to summarize, if you have a tight coiled kind of texture like I do, then when you're washing your new freeform or semi-freeform locks, don't worry about using a stocking cap or trying to keep your locks together and intact, because the water is naturally going to help your hair lock, and your hair isn't going to separate just by being wet. The only thing you may need to worry about is if you don't want your locks to combine at all, then when you get out the shower, just do a little bit of separating, and that should take care of that. But I hope that answers your question on how to wash your new semi-freeform or freeform locks. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I respond to every comment, and I'll see you in the next video.